we think we know how many people have died in Sudan, but we have no idea how many people have lived, because every single day you wake up and you choose to be a drum major for justice. So more than anything, I want to honor you, and I want to say thank you. And we are going to have church in here this morning. Okay? So I'm from a black church. In a black church, everybody talks, all right? So I'm going to say thank you, and you're going to turn to someone and say, thank you, honey. So you've arrived, some of you, at the end of this training, and now it's time for you to just go out and begin to do the work. And as we are launching out on this Human Rights Day, I want to challenge you to get into your spirit a mantra that has compelled heroes and sheroes throughout the ages, like the two people who started this committee. And that is quite simply, just do it. Now you're going to turn to somebody and you're going to say, just do it. Just do it. And now you're going to act like you got a little bit of attitude. And you're going to turn to them and you're going to point your finger and you say, honey, just do it.
Just do it.
It's a new attitude. It's the thing that your mother used to say after you had plucked her very last nerve, right? And she just couldn't take it no more. She would say, no ifs, no ands, no buts.
Just do it.
We need to get that mantra into our spirits, because the reality is, in the process of trying to do this justice work, sometimes you can get weary with well-doing, right? Because whether we're talking about the United Nations in New York, or the Capitol, or the White House, right, or in Khartoum, people don't always do the right thing. And we can get weary. But I am firmly persuaded that we will solve the crisis in Sudan, and that history will record that it was because of grassroots peeps like you and me that we were able to stop this genocide, and we just did it. I would say that the biggest challenge to this movement so far has been keeping people encouraged. And I want to challenge you, yes, you want to be grounded in the reality, but not mired by the reality. Just like you, I go to these places where these talks and these forums and the experts get up and you start out and you just, power to the people, and by the time the experts finish talking about the crisis, you feel like you want to curl up in a fetal position, right? But we can't do that. And we're not going to do that. Bill started out with a hymn in the Unitarian Universalist tradition, and there's a hymn in my tradition that the old sisters used to sing when calamity not only knocked at the door, but actually came in and took up residence. And it was, I don't feel no ways tired. And the words go, I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Ain't nobody told me the road would be easy, but I don't believe God brought me this far to leave me. You're going to tell somebody, I don't feel no ways tired. Just look them in the eye and tell them, I don't feel no ways tired. So having been on this road to, quote, save Darfur, and in fact all of Sudan, I've developed what I call the top 10 reasons that I don't feel no ways tired. And I'm going to tell them to you today. The 10th reason I don't feel no ways tired is because we have got to write the book. See, right now, one of the reasons it's taking us so long is because there's no handbook for dummies on how to stop a genocide. And so we've got to write it. You're drafting a chapter from your life, and I'm drafting a chapter from my life. But when it's all said and done, it will tell the story of how all of us came together from all of our different places and we stopped a genocide. The 9th reason that we can't get tired is because we have to change the paradigm. You know what the course of history reveals in regards to genocide. Typically the response is see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, and therefore do no good. That's not an excuse for why it's taking so long, but it is an explanation. But our book on the grassroots movement that stopped genocide will prove that the race isn't always given to the swift, but to those who hang in and don't pull in the tide and decide that they will just do it. The eighth reason that we have to not get tired is because we really do need to be mindful of the reality that the situation in Sudan, and I'm sure you've talked about this over the weekend, it's chronic and it's complex. And it could be argued that in fact, Bashir, having presided over 3 conflicts, has presided over 3 different genocides. So the reality is that Darfur does not represent an aberration in his otherwise good behavior. Genocide is the way he does business. In Sudan, denial is not simply a river that runs through the country. It's the thing that allows this man to go to sleep at night and wake up in the morning and do it all over again. So it's going to take a while to figure out how to stop a serial genocidaire and compel him to do the right thing, but we will just do it. The 7th reason is because we should also be encouraged by the experience in southern Sudan. You are surrounded by southern Sudanese, and that conflict took more than 20 years to come to a halt. A key factor in its cessation was a relatively small, far less than the number of people who were engaged around Darfur. They had the ear of President Bush. People are slowly but surely moving forward and sparking a measure of hope, and we have to be the vanguards of the hope and create possibilities for all of Sudan. Which leads me to the 6th reason that we can't feel no ways tired. It's because the Sudanese don't feel no ways tired. I can tell you this, I've been to Darfur. I've made a dozen trips to South Sudan. People there, sometimes they get weary, but they are not dissuaded. They are confident that their cause is just, and they will experience justice in their country. And so we've got to stand with them. We cannot abandon them. We cannot get to the place where we become silent bystanders. We've got to join together. We've got to amplify their voices. We've got to augment their very gallant efforts to see that justice comes to their land.